I'm more concerned with the human condition and how we can improve it. That's the question. The answer? Evolve. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes. Greetings, Columbia, South Carolina, and of course to everyone who is listening to us via the web. Welcome to Evolve, and I am your host, Tazima, on this Friday evening. And I must say, it's really good to be back with you guys. You know, I really missed you. I really missed you. And I definitely missed our discussions, even though I was only gone for 3 days. But I'm so happy to be back with you. And let me do this. I have to give a big thanks to Dr. Jean Garris for sitting in for me this week while I took my little brief but really needed vacation. But you know what? I got some emails from you guys. I got phone calls and stuff, and everybody was like, who is this guy on the show, hosting the show? And I mean, people were kind of upset. and I'm going to tell you this. I had Dr. Garris host my show for a couple of reasons. I know that Gene's political views are quite different from my own, but I wanted him to host the show because sometimes you have to be willing to hear someone else's point of view, even if you don't agree with them. And I wish more of you would have called in and challenged him on his views. But the point that I'm making is that, you know, sometimes we have to be able to step outside of our comfort zone and, you know, stretch a little. So, and anyway, at the end of the day, Dr. Garris is a really nice person. And and I just really wanted you guys to hear a different point of view. And really, I did not want to do a best of show. You know how I feel about best of shows, and I wanted you to be able to engage in live conversation. So anyway, listen, before we get to our guest this evening, because I do have a guest for you on the line, I have one more announcement that I have to make. Monday, I'm going to have Chris Dwayne, the creator of The Greatest Truth Never Told. He'll be on the show again this coming Monday to talk to us some more about the collapse or the possible collapse of the U.S. dollar. And this time we are going to focus more on solutions. So, you know, I know that many of you tried to speak with Chris when I had him on the line, and unfortunately it was so many people calling in, I didn't get a chance to get to all of you. But if you have a question, you might want to go to the website and just email me, you know, whatever you want to ask him about. And, you know, hopefully you can get in if you call in. But if not, I can definitely ask him those questions. And you guys know you can go to my website at www.tazima.net. And that's TZIMA.net. And you know what? Chris put that interview up on his YouTube channel, which has over 3 million viewers. And I was blown away. That was so sweet for him to do that. And I got over 2,000 clicks the first day. I was like, whoa. So he also gave out the link to the stream. And so I would like to say welcome to all the new listeners and a very, very big thank you to Chris for that publicity. So let's get on with the show, because I have another special guest on the line this evening who will be discussing with us the art of healing and his latest book, which is a must read. I have to say that it's a must read, Black Belt Healing, which is based on his 20 plus years of real life clinical counseling experiences, helping people cope naturally with pain, and his own 40 bruised and banged up years, as he says, as a karate ka. So let me give you a little bit of background, and then I'm going to bring him up. This is Dr. Nelson. and first name David, Dr. David Nelson, began his martial arts training. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm probably going to slaughter these words, but just hang in there with me. In Goshindo Karate in 1969. He has studied a variety of martial arts, including Tai Chi, Aikido, and Kyokushin Karate. I hope I said that right. In 1992, he received the precepts in the Soto tradition of Zen under the tutelage of Reverend Nonin Chowani, and he'll correct me, and was given the Dharma name of Shinzen. He has a master's degree in counseling and a PhD in natural health from Clayton College of Natural Health. Along with these credentials, he is a licensed professional counselor and substance abuse counselor. He has worked for many years at Native American health and wellness centers, where he intertwines the wisdom of the East and local Native American healing traditions. I am so happy to have him on the phone because this is going to be a blast. He is currently the program manager for the, I think it's Ho Chunk Nation's Behavioral Health Department. And here, Dr. Nelson is working on innovative programming, assisting people with chronic pain who have become addicted to pain medications become clean and healthy. So Dr. Nelson is the author of Black Belt Healing, a martial artist's guide to pain management and injury recovery. We're going to give out that website a little later. And without further ado, Dr. Nelson, are you there?
Yes, I am, and thank you.
Thank you so much for being a guest on the show today. So we're going to be talking about healing and your book and martial arts, I think.
and we'll talk about a lot of fun things. And you said those words really well, Shinkai, karate, and my Zen teacher's name is Koweni at the end. So that's
Koweni.
Okay. I slaughtered his name, too, when I had to once introduce him. He gave me the evil stare.
Well, you know, I'm a Buddhist, and actually I have a lot of friends that are from China and from Japan. So some of the words I kind of recognize, but again, you know, it was like, gosh, because I don't like misspeaking, and I'm really hard on myself about that, especially if I mispronounce someone's name. So
I understand that. My karate instructor, he slaughtered Japanese. So I had to go relearn things.
Well, before we get started, do you mind if I call you David?
That is perfectly fine, yes.
Okay, great. So I'm going to give out the telephone number because if you guys have a question for Dr. Nelson, who I'm about to call David, feel free to call in and ask him. So the telephone number is 803-748-9293, 803-748-9293. So, David, tell us a little bit about yourself and what led you to write Black Belt Healing.
Well, over sort of a natural evolution of just what I had been doing. Years ago, like I call it my former life, I used to be a vocational rehabilitation counselor. I would help people who have been injured on the job get back to their employment. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. And many of these, I worked with a lot of guys like in factories, and the doctors would release them back to work, but yet they were still having a lot of pain. Mm-hmm. And so I said, so I started teaching them some of the techniques I had learned in karate, how to work with pain, how to work with their mind differently, and they were getting relief, and they were able to stay on their jobs. And then as I was teaching them, while I was also working as a counselor, I've always operated a small martial arts studio. I've always had students. And so I decided to write a training manual for my karate students on how to manage pain, because pain as a martial artist, I mean, we have to make friends with pain. Mm-hmm. My instructor said, that's the first lesson we have to do is pain is our friend, and it has to be your mantra, basically.
Wow.
And he was right. I mean, pain becomes your ally over time, but we'll get to that. Mm-hmm. But as I wrote this training manual, and my students, they thought it was pretty good. They said, you should see if you can get this published. And so I sent out some inquiries, and lo and behold, a title publishing company picked it up and asked me to turn it into a self-help book. And then a couple years later, it's on the market.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you teach people how to conquer pain. So I have to ask you, how do you teach people how to do that?
Very true.
Or is that